Hi guys, it's me Val. Hi, welcome to Toxic Free. Thank you for joining me today. Covert abuse. Now I just want to start off by saying something. If you're new to this channel, you haven't seen my videos before, you know about my valisms. I say stupid things and I say weird examples, and I'm going to say some more in this one. Yippee. Okay, the reason I do that firstly is because I feel like that sometimes there's so much information and we're trying to absorb it all in. Sometimes just an example, a very simple one, can suddenly go, oh my God, I get it. And that's kind of what I want. I want to bridge the gap between us all. I just think sometimes there's like so much confusion, there's so much information, there's so much psychology going on out there, and it's like, it's just hard to take in. So I do try and come across with stupid things sometimes. Mind you, it's even good to have a laugh and say silly things to kind of maybe try and educate and get the knowledge across with a little bit of humour. Sometimes that helps. Hey, so I do try. I've written a few things down, so I'm going to just read a few things off because you know what I'm like. I want to make sure, I want to try and stop us all feeling so alone, because you can. This place that we're in after narcissist abuse is a very, very lonely place. And it's horrendous sometimes when you realise and you just think that, my God, no one really understands. So I want to kind of like just come across and hopefully do things, say things, and make sense of this whole fucked up situation that we're in. So anyway, I just want you to feel like there's someone gets you, someone's on your wavelength, and there's someone out there that you don't need to try and explain how you feel to, because there's somebody who just gets you, basically. Emotional abuse is bad enough. Covert abuse. See, I've started already. Covert abuse is the worst. It's the worst, because you just don't know. You can, if you're being emotionally abused by somebody, you can see it. It's in your face. You know, if there's some relative or husband saying, you know, I'm not going to go to the wedding this weekend of your sister's, you know, and ruins the whole wedding weekend. Or, you know, you've got to ask them if you can have your hair cut, or you've got to ask them if you can have money. They want their dinner on the table at 6 o'clock at night. Otherwise, if it's not on at 6 o'clock, it's, you know, you've got to do everything. You've got to run around after them. They put you down in front of your face. They put you down in front of people. They make you feel small, belittle you, devalue you, worth you. But if they're doing it in front of your face, it's a decision that we can kind of make. A lot of us stick with it because we do feel worthless. But sometimes if the abuse is so subliminal, so undercover, so twisted and contorted to the point where we think, did he just insult me? Or is it me or is it him? That's how it goes. That's how it is. We all know how we can try and change ourselves. You know, walk on eggshells, try and be inconspicuous, don't make waves, to try and stop the abuse, and try not to react to what you see. The abuse that we don't see, covert, well, we never know how to react to something that we can only feel, that we can't see. These people present themselves as saviours and are abusers both at the same time. That's how covert works. And I've always tried to think of an example or a way that I can get across how I can describe something in a way that's simple, my interpretations to try and bridge the gap between us all. I've thought about something, and again, valisms, here we go. The Trojan horse, the covert, is like the story of the Trojan horse, the city of Troy. Now, if you've ever heard about it, we've got a little history lesson going on now. The Trojan horse was a gift to the city of Troy from the Greeks because they couldn't get into the boundaries of their city to fight and to destroy the city. The boundary walls were so high, the gates were so strong. A bit like us, we have boundaries, and we have, you know, we only let people into our lives that we want. Empaths, we go for nice people, we go for friendly, happy people, and even the evil people out there pretend to be those. The narcissists of the world will pretend to be those people to get into our lives. So they're our boundaries. So the Trojan horse was put outside the gates of Troy and pretending that they'd been defeated, the Greeks had been defeated, and it was a gift to the city of Troy. But what they didn't know, it was hollow. And inside the hollow horse was 30 soldiers. So they took the horse in, quite pleased they've got this beautiful horse, this beautiful gift. They didn't realise that inside was evil. So they had it on show, they went to bed that night, and they were not aware at all what was going on. And at night, they came out of the horse and they destroyed the city. So I see that as covert narcissism in a way, as the Greeks designed something to mask what was really there, something lovely, something beautiful, something that the city of Troy would invite into their city, which they did, and which is what we do. We invite nice people into our lives, but they masquerade as nice people. So in the end, the city of Troy was destroyed because as night fell and nobody was aware what was going on, they came out the horse, they opened the gates, and they let everybody, all the other evil soldiers in, and they destroyed the city of Troy. That's how I see it. Is that strange? That's one of my little kind of weird valisms, is that I can sort of describe it like the Trojan horse. Also, the Trojan horse, if obviously anybody into computers, the Trojan viruses come from that story, because again, a Trojan virus is something that is sent to your computer under the image or under something else that you would invite in. It might come under your favourite new, song, or your new film video, your new game, Xbox, anything. It's a link, and you think it's something else because it advertises itself as a brand new Ed Sheeran video or something. And you link onto it and you open it. What you're doing is you're letting the virus destroy your data. They'll get into your computer and destroy it. And that, again, to me, is another example of a covert. It's covert. They're covering themselves up. They're making themselves out to be something they're not. They are being what we want people to be in our lives. They're coming across as nice, and actually they're not. They're evil. There's another saying as well that I was thinking about. Sticks and stones may break my bones, but words will never hurt me. Now, when we were young, my mum used to tell me that. And I used to think, well, fine, that's good. Back then, you knew who your bullies were. You knew who was at school to avoid. You knew what they said. They were in front of you and they abused you. As you get older, obviously, you do get bullies in the adult world. But what I think about the sticks and stones thing is the words don't hurt you in a way that when you find out the person who's abusing you with words is a narcissist or a covert narcissist, you find out that the words that they spoke were just words to hurt you, and they didn't actually love you in the first place, which is hard enough. So we can kind of say, yes, those words didn't hurt us at the time, but what those words leave behind is something worse. It's our core that they destroy. It's the core of who we are. See, the very people, the very person that we are inside is protected by everything that we are. You can hurt my arm, you can bruise me, you can bang my head, but to have the inner core of you and your light put out, that's how I see a covert abuse is once the words have been Googled and once you've realised that they are only words and they can't hurt you, it's what it's left behind. It's that forever, it's that fairy tale idea you've had since you were a child of love and fantasy and the world, and you lose your faith in humanity, you lose your trust in people, you realise that there's monsters out there. And I think that's what those words do to harm you. It's not so much the words, it's what's behind those words, is that we actually realise that monsters actually do exist. I've written something here. It says, we don't actually see at the time what damage they're doing, because why would someone who loves us want to damage us? So we just make excuses for them in our heads. Oh, it's me being sensitive. Oh, it was just a joke. Oh, he didn't mean what he said. It must be me. That's what we do. We think they're joking, but it's subliminal. It's a subliminal message. It's drip, drip, drip. It's that boiling frog. It permeates through. It does. It permeates our value and our worth and everything that we are, but we don't know, because a subliminal message is something that doesn't get into our conscious thoughts. It gets into our subconscious thoughts. So they can say something, but it doesn't sound like abuse, but it actually the more they say these things and the more they do these things, that we're actually changing. We actually change our personality. We actually change who we are. And that's why it happens so slowly, because it's subliminal. We don't know it's happening. Over abuse. It's in your face. You get hit, you get punched, you get verbally abused by your enemy in front of you. But covert abuse is your abuse. Stop saying abuse, Val. Abuse. Say your B's. Covert abuse is something that masquerades as something else. And every time they want to abuse, devalue, make you worthless, it's covered in blame, it's covered in a joke, it's covered in sarcasm, it's covered in them being the victim, it's covered in projection, it's covered in love. That's the worst thing. And we make excuses for them because that's all we see. But underneath what they're saying, it's disgusting. I googled subliminal just to kind of see, and it says not recognized or understood by the conscious mind, but still having influence on it. It's a hidden persuasion that may be used to affect human feelings and behavior. Subliminal messages, a message designed to pass below the normal limits of perception, and inaudible to the conscious mind, but audible to the unconscious. An inaudible to the conscious mind, but audible to the unconscious. Did I say that right? I hope I did. Devalue, abuse, manipulation of a narcissist is often said wrapped in love, guilt, blame, a joke, sarcasm, a riddle, a victimization of him. It's never direct. And it will normally create an argument in which they want, which then creates you being crazy. I've done a little text thing here. I put a little text message thread together. I think what it'll do is when people look at it, hopefully it'll kind of go, oh my God, that used to happen to me. I've made it up, but it's so realistic. I'm going to put it up. I'll put it as I'm speaking. It basically devalues, projects. It makes the narcissist play the victim. It devalues, it twists, it's word salad, and it's everything in one. So it starts off with, why don't you ever act like you love me? You want me to act like I love you? No, I don't want you to act. Well, that's what you said, act. Why do you want me to act? No. Well, that's what you said. Act. Oh, you're doing it again. Stop making me feel stupid. I'm not making you feel stupid. You must feel stupid. I'm not stupid. You said you were stupid, not me. I didn't say I was stupid. You just said you were stupid. I didn't. What's going on here? Dunno. You started this. You seem to want an argument again. I don't. Why are you being like this? So what's your bloody problem now? You're losing it again, psycho. I've done nothing wrong. You're always starting arguments. Now, if my little video's gone on with the same and kind of like tallied with my voice, then hopefully it made some sense. But that really is, firstly, why don't you ever act like you love me? Well, you wouldn't be asking that to somebody who did actually love you, because we're so confused by how they act. They talk, they love us, but they act like they don't. So that's the question there. And then because the person, the narcissist, can't actually reply to that question because they don't know how to answer it, they'll start to twist it. You know, you want me to act like I love you? And then they just make a joke out of it. And then what they do is they twist your words. When you said stop making me feel stupid, well, you said you were stupid. Before you know it, you're in the ping pong session of texting or emailing, and it's devaluing you. And then it's starting an argument with you. And then right at the bottom, it's like, yo, you're always starting an argument. It's always you. And that's where you start getting upset and you start arguing. Can you see how that one sentence just started off? I hope that made sense, because that's how I see it. Is the fact is that you can just say one message and they will look at it. They'll catch you out. They see everything in a certain way. They'll take every opportunity to say what you say and twist your words and actually make you look like you're the dumb one. Everything you say can be twisted and used against you. Even if you ask, what's the weather like today? They'll see that as an opportunity to twist. You know, we live in England. What do you think it's like? Well, I was only asking. Go look at the window yourself. They can't answer a question like, oh, it's sunny. Oh, it's raining again. They can never answer a question. I have got an example here again. I'm not going to say who said it or who did it because I keep throwing them under the bus. And one day it's going to come back in the arse. Somebody I know, I remember once asking them what time it was. Now, a normal person, when you ask them the time, they'll just say it's 3 o'clock. I asked this person, what time is it? I might have mentioned this before in a video. If I have, sorry. What time is it? And this person ignored me being stubborn. I said, what time is it? And they went, what? I'll call them Mary. I said, Mary, what time is it? And Mary ignored me again. I'm even stubborn. Thought, you're going to tell me the bloody time. I went, Mary, what time is it? What do you want? I said, what time is it? Go and get yourself a fucking watch. And I said, you wouldn't have got angry if you'd answered me the first time I asked you. There's narcissism there. They used the fact that all I did was ask them the time to make me angry, to make me shout at them. And then once I got angry with them, they had the right to get angry back at me. Before you know it, you're sitting there going, what the hell just happened? Fucked up. Sorry, Mum. So I've got a few examples here again. This is the devalue covered in love. Now, a normal person, if they are having an argument with you, want to abuse you, want to physically shout abuse at you, they will. I've had it before. You fucked up, crazy woman. Piss off, you do my head in. Go away. You know who your enemy is. An old person would yell abuse and call you fucking crazy. You know he's abusive. You know he's the enemy. And you deal with it head on and you see what it is and you take it for what it is, its face value. Now, a narcissist. Now, this is a real story. A normal person who you know the enemy wants to call you crazy, they'll scream it in your face. And you won't really accept it because you'll know that it's an argument and you'll know that they're just trying to hurt you. A narcissist will cover it in love. And I've said this once before. A narcissist wanted to tell you that you're crazy. They won't shout it and abusive, they'll cover it. I'm really worried about you. Seriously, I love you to bits, but I don't know how to tell you this. I care so much for you. And you're going, what? And all you know is there's a person that's in love with you sitting in front of you and wants to help you. You're going, what? I don't know how to tell you this. I think you're mentally ill. Well, that's abuse covered in love, and I've said this before. You would accept that. Well, in a way, if you're weak and you've been trodden on and you're in that black hole and you've lost your worth and you've lost your value, and somebody who is masquerading as your soulmate, but inside, they're actually the Trojan horse, aren't they? But inside, they're evil. That's how they get to you, because they will tell you that you're crazy in the most loving way, and you could actually believe it. That's how, when they leave us, that we think we're crazy, because we've had this person who's loved us for however many years we've been with them. They've told us they love us, they love us, they love us. Why would someone who loves us hurt us? That's where the craziness comes from, because we don't understand what's going on. It's only when we look back afterwards do we see the abuse. Now, I look back at what that fucking Stumpy man, call him Stumpy man, Stumpy, we all know I call him Stumpy, don't we, if you've watched any of the videos of mine, because he's short arse and he's... So, to call you that in the most loving way, it gets right in there. So, they do their abuse by pretending to be the saviour, but they're actually the enemy. He was my best friend before I started seeing him as a boyfriend. So what he would do is he would be covertly abusive and drive me insane as a boyfriend. And I wouldn't actually know that it was him. I always thought it was me, because obviously it was always my fault. And my insecurities were always the one, and I was always arguing as they create us. But then once we'd split up, he would always call as my friend. This is your friend speaking. Can we still be friends? I want to be friends. And he'd give me the love of a friend. He'd love me as the same person, but as the friend, and then we'd get back together again. And then he abused me again as the boyfriend. So he was the saviour and the enemy in the same person. And that's what coverts are. They'll do something sly to hurt you, and then go, oh, there, come here, give me a cuddle, I'll look after you. They are. They're the enemy and the hero in the same person, which is a complete mindfuck. You don't see it as abuse, it's your soulmate caring. He's not the enemy, he loves you. It's not abuse, it's worse, it gets in, it's coming from the person that loves you. It's more convincing. This is the devalue from the victim. This is him playing the victim. And this has happened to me as well. I was going to get you flowers, but I daren't come round because you were such a bad mood and you're so angry and you always hurt me and you upset me and you're always angry. Now, that comes across as somebody who's going to buy you flowers, and if you're not clever enough to look at that, what he said there, you on face value you think, oh bless him, he's going to buy me flowers, and you don't actually think about what he said, but it will get into your head. That sort of sentence said daily, every single day, I was going to do this for you, but you're angry. I was going to do that, but you're angry. I daren't come round because you'd probably slam the door in my face. They seem to actually put into your mind who you actually are when you're not that person. The amount of times I said to Stumpy, why do you keep thinking I'm angry? I'm not angry. But the more he made me think I was angry and get angry at calling me angry, I got angry. Can you see what coverts do? So you think this nice man was going to buy you flowers. He wasn't going to buy you flowers. Virtual flowers. So don't thank him for something he was thinking about. He wasn't doing it. He didn't bloody well do it, did he? Where's the fucking flowers? No flowers. So, and then it's just a case of, oh, well, you would just get angry. So the discard, not discard. So the discard from an average person would be, fuck off, bitch, I hate you, I'm not going to be with you anymore, you do my head in, I can't see a future together, leave me alone, I won't speak to you, delete me off Facebook, don't touch me, don't talk to me, just ignore me for the rest of your life, I'm gone. You know where you stand with that person. You've fallen out of love, you don't want to be together, you've had a row, he's off. End of. The discard, covered in guilt, blame, and everything from the narcissist would be, I'm so sad, and this is true. This is what I got. Most of my letters of being dumped numerous times. This is the end of the letter. I'm so sad. I love you so much, but I have to let you go. I will always love you, but I can't go on. I'm so hurt. Sorry, I shouldn't laugh. You don't understand me. I'm so sad. We didn't work out. I will always love you. You're my soulmate. I love you unconditionally. Whatever happens, I will always love you. It's just not working. I love you. I'm going to try not to laugh. So that's the discard, to keep the wound open. That's the discard, to have me or you on the other end in tears, thinking, oh my God, what have I done? I've scared this person off. I've done something wrong. This person loves me so much. He doesn't. He's the same person. He's the same way. He's not the same person. He's thinking the same person as the previous one who's told you to fuck off, I don't want you anymore. But he's lying. He doesn't want you anymore. He walks away rubbing his hands thinking, you're at home bawling your eyes out because you've just been discarded by this person that adores you and is your soulmate. But what happens there, it leaves the wound open for Hoover. So in a week or two that you could probably think, oh my God, I miss him so much. There's no closure. That's not closure. That's not closure. He's left that open to come back and Hoover. If somebody actually finished it completely, you could probably start to mourn and get over it. He's left it open to come back. Also, if he did say to you, it's over and done with and I don't love you anymore, well, it wouldn't be the game, would it? You would probably get over him quick, you'd heal quick and you might move on. So there you go. That's the discard, to keep you on a string, keep you, your heart open, so you find that the wound that is left open might just start to heal. He'll come back and pick the scab off again. Sorry, gross, but there you go. So yeah, this keeps you tied. He leaves saying he still loves you. He doesn't. So it leaves you more hurt and guilty. and like you're losing someone who loves you, it makes you feel bad and leaves it open for him to come back for future hoovering. No. So every time a narcissist has anything to say negative, it will reflect in a good, caring, loving, worried side of him. He'll smother every type of abuse in something that looks nice. It's like wrapping shit up with a bow. Sorry, Mum. Still shit underneath the bow, isn't it? Yeah. So what we got here? If he wants to say sorry. So, a narcissist who wants to say sorry. This is some more examples. I apologise for upsetting you, but do you see how you made me angry? He's not frigging apologising. I apologise for upsetting you, but then he takes it back. But do you see how you make me angry? So he's still putting the blame onto you. His apology is a half-hearted one. It's no meaning. And it still makes you feel at fault. So look out for these. Please, look out for these apologies. Someone who's really sorry would just say, sorry, I'm really, really sorry, and stop there. Because that's a real apology. A sorry but isn't. If you ever have a but after the word sorry, it's not an apology. Sorry, but, sometimes, you drive me crazy. Yeah, I apologise for ignoring you, but sometimes I need to because you are so crazy sometimes. That's another one. Again, covering an apology in gaslighting and devalue, sorry because I have to ignore you sometimes and leave you alone because you're crazy. No, that's his excuse for leaving you alone. That's his excuse for the silent treatment. I had to leave you because you drive me crazy. No, don't believe it. It's not. It's a fucking excuse. I'm swearing a lot in this video. My mum would kill me. Again, I used to get this from Stumpy. I'm sorry, but we're both to blame. So he's, kind of apologising, but only taking 50% of it. So yeah, they'll never actually apologise fully, even if they do. And that is just to keep me quiet and shut me up for a little while, put me back to sleep, It's a backhanded apology. It still won't take full responsibility, and it's always going to be your fault to some degree. So that's that one. I'm sorry you feel that way. That's a subliminal. I'm sorry you feel that way. See, on the surface, we actually think there's an apology there. But it's only when we look back afterwards and we think, oh my God, if you look at that apology and you dissect it, it's fucking not an apology. I'm sorry you feel that way. We think it's an apology, but it's a small print. It's a small print get out clause. I'm sorry because of the way you are. I'm sorry you feel that way. I'm sorry you are who you are. That's what he's saying. It's not an apology. If he says that to you, narcissist. It's just ridiculous. If you actually, like say, I read texts from my Facebook group and other people's groups that I'm in, and I can see the texts straight away. I can see how they start off with hi, hon, how are you? Just wanting to find out if you're okay. And then it turns from that into crazy bitch. Within 5 seconds flat, you're the crazy bitch again. So I don't even contact them through text. Just to me, it's like when they contact you by email, text or anything, you're giving them a bullet to fire at you. Anything you say will be used and held against you. You give them a bullet. You contact them, go, hi, I'm fine. How are you? They act all nice. Before you know it, and then if they try and get you back, and I've said this before, you ignore them, the next bit is going, well, you're such a, I don't even want you anyway. And I'm going off on one now. They will twist and turn the truth of the manipulating ways. Essentially, the victim reduces his or her own cognitive. It's a Sunday and I can't get my sentences out. Slowly but surely, these covert put-downs, coded messages and ambiguous comments become integrated into a warped reality that when the covert manipulator creates for his own victim. So remember, when a covert narcissist causes you to feel insecure, uncertain and unbalanced, it is often because they don't want to deal with their own emotional issues and the fact that they may not be as special or unique as they desperately want you to believe. Minimization and projection act as self-serving tactics for the narcissist to avoid the discrepancy between the grandiose false self and the true self. So there's so many ways I think that these people, and why these people do what they do. The somatic, for instance, that I was dating, you know, he created the life he wanted around him, which was, you know, the loving son, the caring son for his parents. He put on Facebook all the time about how he loved his parents and how they had Alzheimer's and all this. He was forever projecting this image of the most lovely, lovely person. He projected to me that he was really upset on Christmas Day over his ex-girlfriend. You know, he told me that he was seeing his mum with flowers on Mother's Day. This was his created world. The real world behind that was the fact that this man cheated on about 16 different people. He used his parents' illness as an alibi when he was meant to be seeing his mum. He wasn't. He was seeing his ex-girlfriend. He told me he was crying at Christmas over his ex-girlfriend. He wasn't. Christmas Day, he was with his other girlfriend. I won't live a world that I don't want to show. Let's put it that way. I live in my world that I want. I'm open book. I am who I am. What you see is what you get. I will own everything. So what people do, like somatics and like everybody, coverts and narcissists, they live a world that they hate. They do things that they know are wrong. So they create a world that they wished they had, or they want you to see that they have. They're so ashamed of who they are. The somatic must have been ashamed that he slept with couples with, I mean, I would be anyway. But then if you're going to be ashamed of something, don't do it. Don't do anything that you're going to be ashamed of. Then you don't have to lie about it. Then you don't have to create a world around it and pretend to be the perfect family man, when really you're a fuckwit screwer who's going around sharing your STDs with everybody. And you're creating a false world. You're deceiving people into coming into your false world, and they're deciding on their world depending what you're giving them and what you're showing them. Really, it's false, and the real world that they're living in is disgusting. It's full of filth. It's full of lies. It's disgusting. If you could see his real life, you could see their real world, you wouldn't want anything to do with them, and they know this. So they create this complete image around them. Their shitty little life is within this bubble inside. They live in a shithole. They hate what they're doing. They won't try hard to achieve what they're projecting. They want to be the perfect man. Let's not say that. Okay. No, I've got myself lost now. They're just projecting a life. They don't want to be these people. They don't want to have to work hard to be nice, because they don't want to be nice. They don't have to work hard to get a good job. They don't want to work hard at getting a decent girlfriend. They don't want to work hard at being honest. They want to lie. They want to cheat. They want to lie. They want to do what they want to do, but they want to cover it up because they're ashamed of it. But we only see the cover. We only see the masquerade. So we decide our decisions on the outside of what they're showing their audience. Inside, they're living in a shithole. And I don't mean leaving cups of tea out like I do sometimes and, you know, not cleaning up the kitchen. I mean in here. It's a shithole in here. They don't like it in here. They have to cover this part in a life that they want you to see. Ooh, I'm going off on one now. And that's what coverts do. But every now and then, it oozes out of the cracks. That's what I'm saying, is they're creating a world that looks good to everybody and maybe makes them feel good because their world is shit. If you want to be a good person, be a good person. Don't pretend to be a good person. If you want to work hard and make money, work hard and make money. Don't lie and deceive and find a rich girlfriend that you can just basically sponge off like they do. They live a life of deceit because they live a life of shit. So anybody that looks at these Facebook pictures and sees their ex with the new girlfriend smiling, click, 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 taking selfies in the park, by the beach, it's just, what's the word? Smoke and mirrors. It's an image they're portraying. You people that are watching this now, you're the ones that live in reality. You're the ones that have worked hard to get a good life. You're the ones that work hard to be honest. What you are inside, in here, is out here. So for everyone to see. Don't change because that's a good thing. We are good paid people inside. We work hard for what we want. We don't lie. We're honest. We own everything. And they're scared of that. They're scared of that. They don't like that we actually are on the outside what we are on the inside. They don't like it. It scares the crap out of them, so they try and ruin it. Because everything they are is a fucking lie. And they have to screw us with their subliminal torture, their subliminal abuse that we don't know and we can't see because we're too nice to see it. And we're too nice and we're always thinking that everybody's like us. We project what's inside of us out. We project our goodness like a glowing light out. That's what we think everybody else is. The projection thing is, I watched a video the other day and I can't remember who said it. It's a projection. It could have been Dave DeMars, CNXG. Yes. It's a projection of who they are inside. They look out. So they think, as they're projecting what's inside them onto us, they're seeing themselves onto us. When we project from us onto them, we're seeing our loving sides and our heart of gold onto other people, but we project ourselves onto the wrong people. That projection, that image of what we are inside falls onto the wrong people occasionally, and they take advantage of it. So we need to stop thinking and believing that everybody in the world is like us. I think I've gone on long enough now. Got a little bit irate there for a minute. Guys, I hope you've understood that about subliminal messaging, because that's what they do, about the Trojan horse. It's false, it's fake, it's masquerading as something it's not, but inside is evil to destroy the good. Please take care, stay safe.